My parents left me at the airport baggage claim when I was 5. 30 years later, they sued me for $5.5 million as their kidnapped son. What kind of monster would abandon their own child at an airport baggage claim, then sue him 30 years later for millions, claiming he was kidnapped? That's exactly what happened to me when I was just 5 years old. The terminal thrummed with that relentless chaos. Announcements crackling overhead, wheels rattling on tile, the endless rush of strangers brushing past like I was invisible already. But I wasn't part of the flow. I was the obstacle. 5 years old, clutching a red wool scarf that itched against my chin, too long and dragging on the grimy floor, but I wouldn't let go. It was my only barrier against the chill blasting from those automatic doors. My parents strode ahead, no hand in mine, glancing at watches with sharp, impatient jerks. They didn't look like parents fearing loss. They looked like travelers late for a flight, irritated by excess baggage. My mother, Karen, though I barely thought of her as that then, shot a glance back. "Keep up," she snapped, voice clipped. My father, Kevin, didn't even turn. They marched me past gates, buzzing with reunions, past counters alive with chatter, straight to the cavernous, oversized baggage claim. Jet fuel hung heavy in the air, mixed with burnt coffee from a distant cart. The carousel groaned, spitting out oddities, golf bags, infant seats, tape boxes. "Wait here," my father said, pointing to a cold metal bench bolted down like it was meant to hold prisoners. "Watch the bags. We're getting tickets. Don't move till we're back." "How long?" My voice came out small, swallowed by the echo. "Just count 500 bags," my mother replied, eyes fixed on the exit signs, not me. "We'll be here by then." E said, "Pull the scarf higher." I started counting. 1 bulky suitcase, 2 skis, a guitar case. 50, 100. The crowd thinned, voices fading into distant murmurs. 200, 300. The belt's rhythm turned hypnotic, mechanical heartbeat in an emptying hall. By 500, it ground to a halt. Lights seemed to dim, that low fluorescent hum settling like dust. No one came. The realization crept in slowly, crushing. A child shouldn't know this truth, but I did. Their faces as they walked away hadn't held worry. Relief. Pure, unmasked relief. They hadn't misplaced me. They discarded me. Oversized baggage, too heavy to carry further. But how far would you go if your own parents cashed in on abandoning you? Then try to profit again decades later? Before I reveal the exact moment their web of lies unraveled in open court, hit subscribe and comment where you're watching from right now, so I can shout out every city that stands against monsters like them. Only greed-loving parasites would scroll past without subscribing. Prove you're nothing like them and smash that bell. I'm Samuel Hart, 35 now, a judge presiding over cases where truth is the only currency that matters. Grew up, or rather, survived, in a sprawling suburban home that looked idyllic from the street. Manicured lawns, family barbecues for show, the kind of place neighbors envied as stable. But inside, it was a facade of indifference where I learned early to shrink myself, to anticipate dismissal before it landed. From the start, I was the afterthought child. My younger sister, Megan, arrived when I was 3, perfect timing to shift the spotlight permanently. She was the one who got the attention, the praise for every milestone, while I faded into utility. Fetch this, quiet down, don't disturb. Father, Kevin, saw me as an inconvenience from day one, his patience thin, comments laced with sighs about extra mouths. Mother, Karen, played the doting parent in public, but at home, her affection was rationed, always favoring Megan's demands. I remember school plays where Megan starred. I had a background role, but they attended hers, skipped mine with excuses about schedules. The airport wasn't a sudden cruelty. It was the culmination of years where I felt like temporary luggage, tolerated until inconvenient. Holidays were for Megan's wishes, my birthdays subdued affairs. Report cards? Hers celebrated with outings. Mine acknowledged with a nod before talk turned back to her. The emotional neglect layered quietly. No hugs after falls, no questions about my day, just expectations to manage myself. By 5, I'd internalized it, Stay small, stay silent, don't burden. That day at the airport, we were supposedly heading to visit relatives, but tension crackled. Arguments in the car about money, about cutting losses. I didn't understand then, but their stress felt aimed at me. The abandonment wasn't impulsive. It was calculated relief from a problem child in their eyes. The hours alone on that bench stretched eternal. Counting bags became a desperate ritual, hope dwindling with each empty revolution. When the carousel stopped, the hall emptied, that suffocating silence descended, the kind that presses on your chest, steals breath, convinces a child he's worthless. I gripped the scarf like a lifeline, tears silent, because cry might make me more noticeable, more abandonable. A security guard eventually spotted me, radio crackling as he approached. But before intervention, a man emerged from the shadows, tall, unassuming in a gray suit, wire-rimmed glasses framing kind but watchful eyes. He'd been observing, waiting to see if anyone returned. "She's with me." He lied smoothly to the guard, then knelt before me. No touch, just presence. "My name's William," he said softly. "I saw them leave you. I am sorry. No false promises of return. Truth, gentle but unflinching." He stayed through police, through initial placements, eventually becoming my foster father, then adoptive. He was the quiet savior who proved not all adults discard children. William raised me with steady patience, books instead of lectures, encouragement without comparison. He lived modestly, an accountant by day, but poured into anonymous charities, shelters for lost kids. His home became mine. Warm meals, questions about my thoughts, pride in my achievements. School thrived under his support. Law degree followed, driven by a need to wield justice where it had been absent. I became a judge, commanding courtrooms with the silence I'd once feared, turning it into authority. William passed quietly, no drama. Just a note: "You've made me proud, son." The will reading shocked. Not modest savings, but $5.5 million from savvy 90s tech investments. Lived simply to give greatly. All to me, his chosen heir. News spread. Judge inherits hidden fortune. The beacon drew predators. 48 hours later, a process server at my door. Lawsuit, fraudulent adoption, estate theft. Plaintiffs, Kevin and Karen Hart, my biological parents. No contact, no how are you. Straight to claiming kidnapping by William, demanding the full amount as restitution for decades of suffering, plus his house. Reading the complaint in my study, fury didn't rage, it crystallized. They painted tormented parents, endless searches, shattered lives. Fiction masterpiece. But I saw the ledger. At 5, I was a liability, costly, disruptive. Abandoned to lighten load. Now, assets appreciated, they returned to collect matured investment. Not love. Arithmetic. Greed. Pure. I didn't rage call. Entered judicial mode. Evidence over emotion. Hired top forensic accountant. Dig to 94. Grifters don't reform. War room assembled. File stacking. Coffee fueling nights. Tax returns. Records unearthed. Anomaly. 1995 suit against airline for negligence leading to my disappearance. No unaccompanied flight. Fabricated. Claimed distress. Loss. Settled $450,000. Fortune then, funding new life while I enter the system. Smoking gun. Affidavit declaring me presumed deceased for payout. Absolving airline. They signed my death for cash. Spent on luxuries. Silence. Crystallized rage. Turned diamond hard. They sold me once. Back for seconds. Trial. Their theater. Muted suits. Rehearsed tears. Mother wept of empty chair at table. Father of sleepless nights. Compelling, if not lived, truth. I watched impassively, letting the monument build for a harder fall. Our turn, called Megan Hart, my younger sister, raised in their web. The gallery gasped. Parents paled. Hadn't anticipated betrayal from the loyal one. Megan entered, 28, social worker, tired eyes, apologetic posture. Mirror of features, but burdened where I'd hardened. Testimony dismantled. Home, a mausoleum. Her replacement for tragic lost brother. Story weaponized, church donations, neighbor sympathy, funding vices. His absence paid bills. Produced box. Not flyers, but casino receipts, days post-abandonment, gambling settlement while searching. Silence crushed them, not me. Then the settlement document table, declaration of death for cash. Judges discuss palpable, fraud then or perjury now. Trap shut. The lawyer abandoned them. I addressed directly. You sold me, not lost. Cashed in life for chips. Ghost can't inherit, but haunts. Case dismissed, custody for investigation. Fallout total, indicted perjury/fraud. Reputation, ash, community shunned. Assets drained, fees. Nothing left. Megan joined my foundation, funded by inheritance, aiding aging out fosters. Red scarf? Worn now as an accessory, not shield. Silence? Mine to command. If you can't stand parents who abandon and exploit like this, smash like and subscribe now.